The thing that was kind of coming up for me is maybe doing like a body scan meditation if anybody's interested in that style, but I'm totally open into, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We can always hit anger. I flipped somebody the bird today, so I honked at 4 times. So they had to flip the bird. I know it was bad, but I did. So.
I've been imagining this big circuit breaker inside of my chest. And when you click it shut, then the energy goes through. And I've been practicing, just practicing simple things like things that usually kind of make me upset. And I only let it get up to here. And then I flip the circuit breaker and break the connection. It's really been interesting. I haven't flipped anybody's off yet.
It's just you flip the switch and not the finger. Yeah, yeah. Maybe we could start with maybe this nice bodies. Start with maybe a body scan meditation, and then see what comes from there. That sounds good. Yeah, so we'll do is we'll start from the crown of the head and kind of go down part by part, kind of sweeping through our awareness, and then we'll gradually come back up, eventually just holding awareness through the body as a whole. So yeah, so maybe we can just kind of get comfortable and bring our attention to the breath. Just get a sense of the body sitting in your seat. And then when you're ready, you bring your attention to the crown of the head. And begin to become aware of any sensation or feeling at the crown of the head. As we do, we're just observing with a quiet awareness whatever is there. And the practice is to help us awaken our awareness or sensitivity to the flow of sensation and feeling throughout the body. And we can sweep down into the face and jaw, becoming aware of the sensation in the face and jaw as you breathe. If we notice any tension in the face, trying to relax those points of tension as best we can. And moving to the back of the head, down to the point where the skull meets the neck, awakening a sense of sensation and feeling. And then sweeping down to the neck, and then gradually sweeping down the back, beginning to become aware of the sensation present in the back. And if there's any points of pain or tension, we're able to soften around those points as best we can. If it's not too intense. As you breathe. And then down the front of the torso, chest and abdomen. As best we can, just trying to have a kind of quiet, non-judgmental, open presence or awareness towards whatever's there or even what's not there. If there isn't sensation, it's okay too. Just presencing ourselves in that area of the body as we breathe. And sweeping down from the left shoulder down to the arm, to the fingertips. And maybe with the arm not just staying on the surface, but also including the muscle and bone into our awareness. Then starting from the right shoulder, sweeping down the right arm, down to the fingertips. And then from the hip, gradually sweeping down the left leg, down to the toes. And again from the hip, sweeping down the right leg, down to the toes. And then starting from both feet, just gradually sweep back up the body, coming up back to the crown. Eventually holding awareness of the sensation, the feeling that's present throughout the body as a whole. And as we breathe, maybe we could bring in a kind of feeling of acceptance or equanimity, kind of an atmosphere of acceptance or equanimity towards whatever is arising. best we can without judgment, allowing whatever is present to be there or move through as it needs to. And if it feels okay, maybe from this place we can maybe do a little experiment where we bring to mind a moment when we were triggered or activated by something. Maybe it was like something that happened today or recently. So not too strong. And when you bring it to mind, see if you can get a sense of the felt memory of like how it felt in the body when we got kind of activated. What was the feeling present? If you get a sense of that, without going too much into replaying the story, just see if we can kind of be present with that feeling that is coming up inside of us, in our body. And in the same way we've been doing, kind of breathing around it with a accepting sense of present awareness. If we can, try not to judge ourselves for that feeling that arose. Maybe having a sense of curiosity towards just being with it in this kind of safe meditative container where we can apply our mindfulness. Just get a sense to maybe learn about it, get to know it. Maybe it could help to label the feeling, giving a name to the feeling, whether it's hurt or anger or frustration or just labeling it. And then when you're ready, allow that emotion to dissolve away. Knowing that we're just imagining it, remembering it, just letting it go. And if you like, going back into that scenario where you were activated, imagine responding without that emotion present. Imagining that the feeling never came up, the activation was never there, and how may have played out differently for you. And again, not judging what actually happened or anything, just as an experiment to get a different kind of perspective or a vision of how it could have played out without the activation. And if the situation involved another human being, if it feels natural, feels right, maybe we can add kind of a quality of loving kindness, compassion for this person, imagining that we're responding to the situation without that kind of emotional trigger present. Maybe we have some more space to connect. And let's get a little time to wind down. So, at your own pace, just allow the imagination and the contemplation to dissolve. And just for a little bit, we'll just rest on our breath. And then we can come back into our space, just kind of noticing our bodies in our seats and the air and space around us. Come back into the room. So thanks for the topic, Sheila. How was that process?
I like going back and doing it better this time.
Mm.
Definitely.
Yeah, how did it feel kind of redoing doing it?
You know, just letting it just roll off my back. It's so much easier. And I feel, actually, no, I feel less ridiculous. I don't like the person I am when I lash out like that. Yeah.
Were you able to get like a sense of like what was were you able to get a sense of like the what was going on for you right before it happened, or like that kind of yeah.
I wasn't even angry. I was more annoyed than anything. And that's what was most frustrating, is because I wasn't angry and it was just a knee-jerk reaction. And
Mm.
I think that's what upset me more, was because I wasn't angry. It was just, I just
Just
got it out there.
got you 4 times.
I can't hear you. What?
But, it was 4 beeps.
Oh, they were long beats. They laid on the horn 4 times. So yeah, it was just more annoyed, and it just went right out there. It was dark. They probably didn't even see me. So it was just ridiculous. That's okay. It's not necessary for me to do that again.
Yeah, I just think of like the Donnie, yeah. Danny, did you want to? Are you gonna say something?
Let's see if you can hear. there's two things I did that and I've probably done it recently. I don't remember. I don't go out much. Okay, one time I was going to see my teacher, and I was right by where he was, and I flipped someone off and yelled at them. And then I told him, and I said, I feel kind of ashamed. And he said, you ought to be ashamed. And that's when I first started getting an inkling that, oh yeah, it's really not cool. This really is something to, think about. And then many years later, I was driving my car, and it's a remote country road, and some guy, I flipped him off, and he followed me to where I was going, and he got out of the car, and there were some words, and he said, I'm a sheriff and I work, and he made the mistake of saying when he worked. He told me when he worked, and for 6 months I wouldn't drive because I thought he was working. And then I was a paramedic, and there was a crash, and I had to rescue him. He was paralyzed. I don't know what happened to him after that. But I've still lost my cool, as it were, even after that. But things like that have really made me think about it, and we're all just trying the best we can.
Yeah, Jayla, you point like it wasn't even necessarily rational. Like you weren't actually, nothing was going on. I mean, I think of like the sound, the beep hitting the like the ears, and it's such a grating sound. It can be so quick to escalate something. And also the vulnerability of being in a car too. I mean that's why it seems like why kind of road rage is so like we're vulnerable. It's dangerous. It's dangerous to drive. So yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. And like the oh, go ahead, Jayla.
And I was in a high school parking lot.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, Kodo. You can say something.
And for me, I used a situation that's been up for quite a while with a client. And yesterday I went to that client and I gave them notice. And we talked very peacefully, very nicely. And she even said at the end, oh, I'm so glad we could do this in a good way. And I said, yeah, me too, because we just have to respect ourselves, right? But I could feel a little in here where my big circuit breaker is. And through this process, it was interesting because I felt that the outcome of quitting or giving notice, 6 weeks notice, was still the correct thing to do for the whole situation, even as a compassionate action to help them break out of their gripping of the situation. But and also for myself, but I could see myself just not react. Like it was more like, huh, well, I think I need to not work for you folks anymore. I mean, it was just more distanced, less emotional, less survival gripping. I get a lot of survival gripping in my core area here. So it was interesting, and the outcome felt the same. I didn't feel like I made a mistake by giving notice. It just feels defused. It feels like the energy is just dissipated and it's all soft and easy. So thank you. Feels really good.
it's a nice exercise because like we can look at it from a place of safety. Yeah, I was saying it's just a nice exercise because it gets some perspective from more of a safer place. Like even if we're we can just imagine ourselves being calm. Like even if we're not necessarily worked it out yet, but imagining like, oh, how would I look at this if I didn't have that feeling up? And sometimes that actually lets it, um, like our natural intelligence will kind of come out actually when it's not blocked by the trigger. So it's just an imagination, but it's like allows our real kind of perspective to come out, which is interesting. Yeah.
I'm going to be busy practicing this in many situations.
And the first part of it, I can't think of the name, the person. Oh, yeah, the being with the difficult emotion. That first step of it, I can't remember off the top of my head. Where who it was like a secular mindfulness. It's been adapted into a mindfulness kind of practice, and um, yeah. Anyway, actually, there's no information in that, so I'll stop. um, yeah. What else? What else? Anything? Yeah.
So I'm relatively new to this whole Tibetan scene, just like several months now. But I've been taking so many classes and reading and meditating a lot, whether I'm in a group meditation. So I'm kind of at a point up to here. And there are so different meditations and different prayers, and they're just slightly different versions and all that. And I'm at a point where I'm like, just no more, just two or three things, and just be silent and just, you know, quietly meditate and let things filter around and stuff. Um, I'm not overwhelmed. I think I was a bit in the beginning months, but now I'm not overwhelmed. Everything seems to be filtering and falling into place and getting organized. And I'm not sure what I'm talking about. It's just, I guess it's our own journey, how much we can handle and how much and what filters in and makes sense to us and what kind of goes boing and doesn't really ever penetrate, you know? Um, but of your experience or of anybody here's experience, nah, it's not a real question. It's my own question. So I'm just, I'm just filtering through the exa inexhaustible amount of things, it's pretty impressive. So
Toto, I'm in
I'll
the same
figure it
place,
out.
so keep going, because I'm in the same place and I can't verbalize it. So,
Well, I guess, part of me wants to, and I don't even need to ask because your answer would be different than their answer. That's different than my answer. It's all a personal journey, and it's all what makes sense. And some of the stuff is very flowery, and sometimes the language doesn't, I hear it, but it doesn't speak to me, if that makes sense. So then I either just drop it and then pick up a piece. Like right now for me, Manjushri and emptiness, but I've been working on that for 10 or 15 years. So I wasn't really into the deity stuff because it was like, what are these things? Are they, what, why do they have 1,000 arms or 4 arms or this or that symbolism and all of this? And the way Geshe-la explained the green Tara deity thing, it just went in. It went in so easily, and every little step made sense, and it wasn't overwhelming at all. It all just filtered in so beautifully. And then I was like, oh, that makes such sense. And then now I'm totally into the deities. Whereas before it was like, what are these things? It's like too much information from a Zen perspective where, we just sit. And so it's making sense to me, and I'm taking less classes. I'm doing less meditations. I'm sticking with just a couple people that really I feel, yeah, okay, and my daily work schedule, etc. So it's just a lot. It's a lot, and I'm just finding where what is working. So I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's what I'm experiencing.
Daniel?
Can I say something? You asked about like us. Okay, I came from Zen too, and I went through Theravada as well. But at Zen, I told my teacher, I said, I'm really attracted to Tibetan Buddhism. I didn't know the difference between Vajrayana but I said, but it's so noisy and so colorful. I think that it's too much. And he said, well, then don't do it. And so I didn't. Um, but then something changed, and now it's not as much. I think coming from a Zen standpoint actually helped. I got the training in the meditation part of it. And yeah, take what I need, and or what appeals. And like, I still don't like those thigh-bone trumpets and the cymbals. Forget it. I just turn it off. I mute it. When it's too much, I mute it. I love the pretty colors, but sometimes I just want to take a break and just have plain black and white. So I do zazen with a group occasionally, like once a week. And I like the way you're going. I like it. It's good to me.
Yeah. Yeah, Jill, is any of that actually, is that kind of putting words to?
I've got kind of a bunch of stuff going on. I have the fear of missing out because I'm trying to catch up. And I have so many friends. I've made, this is my community now. And so I want to spend time with my community. And but also yeah, a lot of it is I'm panicking because I'm afraid that I'm not going to have enough time to learn what I need to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Danny. Danny, right? Yeah.
I'm going through that too sometimes. Not as much as I used to. Lately I've been thinking, well, okay, if we have these numbers of lifetimes, and we probably aren't going to get it this one. Most of us probably won't get it this one. So the upside of that is that as long as we're on the right path, it'll carry over into the next one. And you don't have to do it all at once or this time. And there should be no pressure. What we're doing is okay and it's good and it'll continue. And that's how I think of it myself lately, because I get that pressure too. Like, oh my God, I'm getting fucking old and I haven't done it yet. And I'm supposed to save all the sentient beings. And and then I go, wait, I'm on the right path. It'll continue if I keep the right, at the time of death that yes, I'm doing it. This is it. It's good. I think that's gonna help for me, and I'm going through it too. Yeah, because I'm getting old. I could be dying anytime now. I think I'm older than most of you. Maybe Kodo is older than I am, but yeah, yeah. No, you're not older than I am.
How old are you, darling?
We've been through this before. I'm almost
How
60,
old are you?
almost 60.
I'm 61. I'm
Okay,
61.
big deal. I mean, okay, but I'm sure you felt it too.
Hey,
We're
hey, honey. How you doing, honey?
yeah, right. But anyway, yeah, we're on the right path, and that's what counts. We stopped all that. We stopped thinking all that nonsense is good. Like flipping people off. I used to be proud of it. Like, fuck you, don't fuck with me. I was proud of it. I was tough, and I let you know it. I hated your guts. And now I don't. And that's what's important for me. I statement. That's it.
And I'm coming into a place where I have all these like little notebooks or big notebooks, these kind of notebooks. And I have so many notes in so many different notebooks that before a class, Shayla, for sure, and Donnie probably too, you've noticed that I come in 2 seconds before class because I'm like, which notebook is it? Oh my God, when did I take the notes on that one? Was that last week or what? Wow! And I'm like rifling through all of these notebooks. And I'm at a point where I'm just like cutting off the covers and cutting the pages out, and I'm organizing, and I see everything is coming into its process. It's nice and settling in and peaceful. And I don't feel like I felt 3 months ago with just like, whoa, what is this? And so I just feel like I'm gonna do it this lifetime because I'm so tired of all of this insanity. Just all I have to do is look at my own insanity and go, oh my God, do I gotta go through this again? Oh no. And so I'm just like, okay, what am I truly attracted to? I am truly attracted to Manjushri. That's my guy. He's my guy. I don't know if anybody else likes him, but he's my guy. And I like this blah, blah, blah meditation. This one really works for me. And that one too. And now the Lam Rim class, I'm like, yeah. And that's it. 4 things. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to try to do all of these express meditations. So you may not see me in the mornings, or some mornings you will, but some mornings you won't. And I'm not going to do XYZs and just try to pack it in and stuff it in. I'm doing the fasting, like the Mahayana day, the whole day. So I try not to, except for occasionally. Then I'm going to, like just less classes, less eating. I eat breakfast and lunch mostly, and occasionally a dinner, special dinner. But just everything slow down and go, like, if I really do Manjushri for the next year, and that's the only deity I do, and maybe I can pop in a little Shakyamuni and a little green Tara next to Manjushri occasionally as friends, that's great. But I'm at that really like slow down and go deeper mode. And I'm finding the meditations and Manjushri is my guy, so I've got my deity. So that's how I'm doing it. And I won't see you around next time, folks. I don't want to come back. I just don't want to come back. I mean, I would come back to be helpful, but with the knowledge rather than this dark, the denseness, you know, and the reactivity, the constant reactivity. It's like really tiring. I'm just tired of this. As much as I love Earth, but it's just, you know, I think there's something, and I'm pretty sure I've had pretty wild experiences. I know there's something much more beautiful out here for us. So, ta-da!
Yeah, this phase happens with Tibetan Buddhism. Once you get to a point like, how do I? Yeah, in a way, that's the Lam Rim actually that originated in that way because before the Lam Rim tradition, the gradual path tradition, it was all kind of patchwork meditation lineages and traditions and texts and different things like that. And Lama Atisha was Indian and Bengali, and he came to Tibet and he was like, oh, I think Tibetans need a kind of structured, kind of step-by-step kind of approach. But even then, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's so much, yeah. And yeah, like Koda's beautifully said, like if there's something that really calls you, stay with that. In terms of how this tradition works, it's just kind of the basic principles in Lam Rim, and then understanding how the deity practice is supporting you, and how those two are, the Lam Rim and the deity practice, are supporting each other, where you get the inspiration and the healing and the empowerment and the cleansing from the deity practice, and maybe the insight, like it empowers some aspect in us that needs that kind of resourcing or activation, like activating in a positive way. And then the Lam Rim just helps kind of the practical psychology of living in our world, you know, understanding things are impermanent and value of compassion and the effects of hostility, and then and some basics of emptiness. Yeah. And because they do have such different kind of things, like Kodo, you said, like I found one, I'm just going to stay with that for quite some time and really get, go deep. And I like, just in terms of one text, like it's very simple, inspiring text of just how Tibetan Buddhism works as a package, is Lama Yeshe's Introduction to Tantra. It's an amazing book. It's maybe, so good, maybe 100 and some 80 pages, whatever. And it goes from Buddha nature through deity yoga, in just a really simple, very practical, packaged way. It's gorgeous. Yeah. But yeah, this is not. This is just run. This is par for the course. There's always that point where it's like, oh my Lord, what do I do? There's so much. And this is just within one lineage. There's more lineages in Tibetan Buddhism. There's so, it's just so vast. I think it's the most. I think the Tibetan tradition has the most written religious literature in the world of any. Like, it's just so vast. So it's very normal kind of point. It's, yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah. And Lama Zopa Rinpoche wrote that daily meditation for Shakyamuni Buddha for some people who connect with that approach as a package, the Lam Rim with the Buddha meditation as well. Yeah, and one of my teachers would say, sometimes you just have to do the opposite of what our life is like. So simplicity. We need just sometimes like with deity yoga, there's a lot of action and visualization and details and all this, but then it always comes back to the simplicity of emptiness. Everything dissolves, and you just rest in simplicity for some time. And I think making sure we have that kind of also nourishing the simplicity aspect, so we're not just constantly thinking about Lam Rim and thinking about this and doing this and active, all this. Like it won't land with us if we don't have that also with a bit of that kind of just pull back and just be somehow that, yeah. Which is also a basic. That's just kind of a basic Buddhist tenet where we have the calm abiding, just simply being, and the kind of active content. So, yeah, and that's very much something that can get left out in the tradition where we forget how just to be. We're like constantly taking all this nourishing stuff, like all this amazing stuff, but we're not slowing down enough to actually let it ripen, or let it come out. Yeah. So we might actually be surprised, like what's actually already there in us. Yeah. Cool. Well, that was a blast. Thank you all. Thank you. Maybe
Thank
dedicate.
you, Justin.
Yeah, thank you all. It's really lovely. Yeah. So. Yeah, we can dedicate this positive energy we created together. And it may become a cause for us to awaken to our full Buddha potential. At some point, so that we can be of lasting value to all living beings without exception, to help enable them awaken their full potential. And may the Supreme Bodhicitta, not yet grown, begin to grow. And may that which has begun to grow increase and increase for the benefit of sentient beings. All right, thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Shayla. Thanks, Donnie.
Thank you guys. You have a great day or a great night.